Good morning, this is Rabbi Shlomo First here at Yeshiva Tsama Nafshi. I'm temporarily substituting for Rabbi Yuri Levitt. This is his shir in Nefesh HaChaim, the first gate, Shar Aleph, in Perek Yud Beis. We're learning about how a person creates his Olam Haba, whether it's going to be good or better. It's going to be the result of his activities in this world. So let's see what the Nefesh HaChaim has to say about that. Go ahead.
King Onish, and thus with punishment, Gehenna of Gehenna. We now know Gam Cain. Also, this subject.
What we said previously in terms of the rewards of Olam Haba, right? The paradise that a person is going to create for himself in the next world. Right. Likewise, the searing punishments of Rav Dessler explains what's Gehenna. We speak about it in the symbolic language of the scriptures of Gehenna as the fires of Gehenna. Right? So he explains what Dessler means. Obviously, Gehenna is not a physical place. When we leave the physical world, we go to a spiritual world. So anything we describe, either in terms of the paradises of the world to come, or the punishments and sufferings of the world to come, many times what we've been told about and the descriptions we've been taught are because of our physical understanding of the way things work, because we live in a physical world. But really, they're all completely spiritual types of experiences, which we really can't fathom, because being physical, we can't really fathom what something which is entirely spiritual is. So this explains that that concept of Gehenna is the continual regret over all the lost opportunities a person had in his lifetime. That Hashem provided with the person with so many opportunities to serve him, to do chesed, to be kind, to learn, to fulfill mitzvahs, and his regret and his embarrassment and his shame over the lost opportunity is what is the experience of the fires of Gehenna.
Shehachet atzmo hu in sho. Unsho. That a sin in itself is its punishment. Kemo shekasuv, like that it's written, avonosav gil keduno es ha-rasha uvchavle chataso yitamech. The sin Ulakiduno, I don't know what that word is. Yilkiduno.
It's like a trap. It'll be trapped.
Trapped?
Yeah. Avonosav yilkidenu as HaRasha. Right. His sins trap the evil man.
Okay. Uvechavle chataso yitamech. And chaval. And the bad aspect of his sin.
Here, Chavle is like chains. I'll show you these siddur.
Chains?
Yeah, you see this in the
Yeshiva?
That's like birth pangs, pains. But here, this way, it's referring to. I'll show you. Probably see here. Maybe in the Psukei de Zimra, right? You say the morning davening.
Right.
So after Ashrei we have the Halukas, right?
Right. Oh, we bind the nobles?
here's the Ashrei, it's in the Ashrei.
Right.
And we have here, we say here, the Esur Malkehem, Bezikim, V'chagnehem, V'chavli Barza. Sos Behem Mishpah, Esuri. Who the whole Asidah Al-Yukah. So it says here, to bind the kings with chains, right, and their nobles with fetters of iron. Execute upon them.
149.
Excuse me. Is that 140? Yes, it is. How do you know?
Wow, right.
Very good.
Wait, I said about you being slow, I take it back.
It's okay, I can
So
do
you see
it.
the word here, the Chavle Varza.
Fetters of iron.
Fetters of iron.
So Chavle is fetters. The Chavle,
Yes, just someone who lived 200 years ago with fetters on.
and the fetters of his sin, Yitamech. What's Yitamech?
Itamech, I believe to be bound by, no? That's what they say, everything.
When your wickedness will afflict you,
Afflict.
you'll be held by the cords of his own sin will trap the wicked person, and he shall be firmly held by the cords of the fetters of his sins, and your own businesses, and your own wickedness will afflict you. And a matter of interest I've got for that his own sins will trap the wicked person, who should be firmly held by the cords of his sins, as in Mishlei 5:22.
So he's translating it as cords instead of fetters.
And your wickedness will afflict you, in Yirmiyahu 2:19.
If you probably took the word fetters off the United States, we have region stuff 25 years ago.
Hey, Phil.
Oh my goodness.
You've been noted already.
You don't have to bow to me.
You've been
Kmo she'misba'er, like a well, like a pit.
Look, the Misfire, as will be explained.
That would be explained. She'ka'asher, that when ha'adam oseh achas mi mitzvos Hashem, when a person does one of the commandments of Hashem, asher lo te'asenu, that he was not supposed to do.
Yep.
So this is, in other words, he violates a negative commandment.
So has he. Asher Adam Ose Achas Mitzvahs Hashem, Asher Lo Yaseh. Right? That when a person does one of the mitzvahs of Hashem, Asher Lo Ta'aseh, which shouldn't be done.
Right. Hapagam nullifies.
It's like a blemish. It's a
Hapagam. The blemish, the ha-churban, and the destruction near Sham, chas v'shalom, techef l'mala b'shar sho. Near Sham, I don't know what near Sham is.
It's
Chas v'shalom.
when it's registered. It's like it's engraved. Yerushalyim.
Techef l'mala b'shar sho. It sends up to the high gate.
Yeah, it's the pagam and the churban nirsham chas v'shalom techef l'mala b'shar sho. The fact that a person did something, he transgressed in some way, right? So that blemish and that destruction is registered has v'shalom immediately, immediately, the mala immediately above Misharsho, in his essence, in his shar, his root, his essence, it affects his essence.
Ula umas zeh, and this world, imal'a hacharava, imala.
So umas zeh, this is an expression, the umas zeh, and notwithstanding. Notwithstanding this, that's from the source of also of destruction, of desolation.
So what does it mean?
So, notwithstanding, he has to bear the brunt of what damage he's caused. Simply doing something which you're not supposed to do is not simply a violation. You also, for example, a person's caught speeding. The speed limit is 55 miles an hour. He's going 70, right? So if he gets caught, he gets a ticket, right? But it's not like he caused an accident through his speeding, right? If he was speeding, caused an accident, it's much worse. Right? When a person does an aveira, it's not simply a transgression. There is an actual korban, a destruction, which is taking place through his disobedience.
So what's the notwithstanding referring to?
That it's not only the blemish and the destruction which is taking place, but it's also, right, well, you have to finish the sentence, go to the next sentence. Meaning even without the destruction, right? Who making?
I see. Making beer kochos v'chele ha-tum'ah v'ha-klipot ha-rachamav Yisbarach Shemo Yatzilenu. So he establishes Magbir.
Magbir is to amplify, to increase
the powers. The Chele Ha-Tum'ah and the pieces of impurity and the surroundings that the Holy One, blessed is He, Yatzilem.
Save us from. Meaning, in addition to the actual destruction which takes place because of the transgression which the person's done, not only that, he now is giving power and is amplifying the abilities of the powers of darkness and impurity and defilement. Hashem should save us from them. I mean, the actual transgression is a destructive force, but in addition to the destructive force, it's actually giving power, strength to the forces which are of defilement and
so notwithstanding the actual damage that comes from the transgression,
right,
there's also this additional effects on the powers of darkness and the portions of impurity that come with it.
right? Meaning it's like the atom bomb. It's not just doesn't just destroy what is right. It also creates radiation.
Right.
Doing two things in fallout.
Right. Misham mamshich gam al atzmo, and from there continues also to himself ruach hatuma, the spirit of impurity. So this is like the fallout. The spirit of impurity is now continuing.
Exactly. I mean, after the actual sin is ceased and is finished, and whatever damage it has done, has been limited to whatever limits it has by the doing of the sin. Now there's the fallout.
Shemila hafso to be'es asis ha-avon ve'achar asoso ha-ruach tum'ah mistalek Komo, Bahu bechayav begehinom mamash, ha makifo be'es asiach, asias hachet. Okay, so what does that mean?
So again,
this is Shemelach Faso, but Faso, I don't know what that is.
Shemelach Faso, meaning there's a ruach hatuma which clings to him at the time of the doing of the sin, right? So and after the accomplishment of the sin, after it's been done,
the spirit of impurity mistakel komo from its place. It mistakel to cling.
It leaves from its stalak to it departs.
Oh, it departs from its place, from his place.
I just don't know. I've got a translation here that's what if you think about it, it's called going back to and from there he brings the spirit of impurity upon himself, which twists around him when performing the sin. It twists around him performing the sin. And then it's taken up as the next one, which is in following his performance, the spirit of impurity departs to his place while it
departs what?
The spirit of impurity departs to its place.
Yes.
And he, while alive, is literally in Gehenna, which encompasses him.
And he, while alive, what?
And he, while alive, is literally in Gehenna, which encompasses him when he performs a sin. It's like you've been sort of grabbed around him, sort of tentacles of Gehenna sort of coming around you.
So he's in Gehenna when he's still alive.
So, yeah.
Interesting. How do we understand that? Gehenna when he's still alive.
When you do a sin, touch the floor, you sort of do feel, why did I do that? You get really cross at yourself.
Right. So that's Gehenna?
That's, well, I don't know, but feel very, depends on what you've done and how you feel about it. You can be really cross and angry with yourself. And I suppose
What if you're not cross and angry with yourself?
You're in trouble. But I think that being cross and angry with yourself is sort of, yes, you suffer. You're suffering for doing this, and you realise that you've done something wrong. So being cross and angry with yourself is a way of tshuva, I suppose. But it's also punishment. You're punishing yourself and you're being punished.
That's
So like
It's all right.
Something, I don't know.
The Gehenna Mamish, the red guys with the pitchforks. I don't know.
Things go badly for you.
Yeah, but I mean, Gehenna's a pretty hot place. Who b'chayev b'Gehenna Mamish? Why? Because it says, I think, that it surrounds him the time of the doing of the sin. However, he's not going to experience it until after his death. And then he'll be trapped there in the net which he has prepared. Right? The actual Gehenna begins while he's still alive. However, he's not able to experience it until his actual death. That is, meaning those powers of tumah, those powers of impurity, of defilement, and the destructive forces which he's created to his sin, those things he's not going to be actually sensitive to experience until after his death. Okay, good, yes? What do you mean you're wrong? Who says you're wrong? Besides you. Besides you, who says you're wrong?
I don't think you're wrong.
Where's the error?
I was just referring to it happening while you were alive. When he says you feel it after you're dead.
When he says, Rak she'ena margi sedayin ad acher pitroso. You have that line in your edition?
It's just that he does not yet feel it until he passes on from this world. That he is trapped in.
So in other words, it's there, it's present, it's having an effect, but he's not aware of it until after he dies.
I was talking about being aware.
Excuse me?
I was talking about being
aware. That's what it says. That's what it says. She's really, while he's alive in Gehenna. And it surrounds him in the time of doing this sin. However, he's not going to experience it until after his death. Yes?
So the image I'm forming is that this tumah is surrounding him and kind of removing him from this world to a certain extent, reducing his sensitivity so that he's not really in touch with the evil that he's doing.
He doesn't, again, because these are spiritual things here, but so he's not going to be sensitive to the spiritual destruction and the spiritual defilement which is created with his sins. But yet there's an existence of the things nonetheless. Simply, just because you don't happen to have a Geiger counter doesn't mean you're not going to be affected by the radiation.
Right.
It's there. Right, Roy?
You're affected, but you don't feel it.
You're affected, you don't feel it.
Is that what this
I'm
is?
just thinking that what I just said, if it's true, sort of, if it's like that, sort of, it might be that Hashem is letting us suffer now, instead of later on.
I'm seeing it as the opposite. I'm saying that it's shielding us to a certain extent from sensitivity in this world, so that it'll be worse in the next world. It'll be worse in Gehenna.
Now, from what they're saying here, yes. From what I said, the way that you feel after you've sinned, and you know it.
Right.
Then this kicking yourself for doing it is a teshuva, and feeling horrible about it is the Gehenna part of it, so which you're suffering for. So you're doing that here and now in this world. So you've got your Gehenna in this world, and the teshuva at the same time. So Hashem's letting you do that so that you don't have to suffer later on.
Right.
Yeah, but he says you're not margish it, that I not out of Pitzrosa. He says you don't feel it until after the person's dead.
Yeah.
So what's that mean?
Well, there's something I suppose continuously is sinful. He becomes immune to what he's doing. He justifies what he's doing. So I'm not sinning. But these people have got to be cured, I've got to kill them off. This person doesn't deserve his rate, I'll take it from him. I'm doing the right thing. Whatever. Alright. So in that sense, he's not going to do any tshuva in this world unless he feels that what he's doing is wrong. He's not going to. So that's going to happen to him in his Ha'olam Haba.
I mean, he's definitely going to get it in a home, but the question is, he's speaking about this world here.
Yeah. So what I was saying, I think, is that you get your Gehenna by feeling bad about it, and then you realise that you have done something wrong. So
Where does it say what you're saying? It doesn't. You're just making it up.
Yeah, I'm just making it up. It's
okay.
It's a
nice idea. It's a nice idea, just not correct.
Could be correct. No.
I think it
could be correct, but whether it's applicable here, that's a question.
Right.
Of course it's true.
Of course. The fact that you said it makes it true. There's no doubt about it.
Absolutely.
Anyway, okay, I'll leave it at that, and let's hope that we don't have to find out too much.
Okay.
We read the note or skip to the next paragraph?
The question here is that why doesn't the Kurdish world allow you to be sensitive to this at the time of doing the sin? If according to what we're being taught, it's actually occurring here, the Gehenna is actually occurring, and then if it's actually occurring, there should be, in theory, a sensitivity to what's happening, but Hashem doesn't allow us to be sensitive to it, for whatever reason. Right?
Are we talking about just Jewish people or everybody?
Oh, I don't know, I'm not so sure.
But it's just, I'm thinking of Torah.
I would have said the opposite. I would have said that it's not Hashem that's preventing us. It's we're preventing ourselves. It's describing to us the process that when somebody does a sin, it creates a desensitizing force around himself because he's sinning. And that's creating a separation from Hashem and a separation from doing good things, which is what we call Tsama, that surrounds the person and makes it that much easier for him to do something wrong the next time. So it's warning us that if we start falling into this pit, so to speak, that we're going to have a hard time unless we drag ourselves out, unless we realize that we've become desensitized to the wrong things that we're doing, and we have to yank ourselves out somehow, right?
Yeah, but you could be in the same boat as Roy is. I mean, you could be all wearing true, but whether that's exactly what's being said over here, I'm not so sure. Let's maybe see the let's see what he's obviously going to explain a little bit more about this. So let's see what he explains. What he wants to elaborate, right? So let's see his Hagah, the elaboration. Let's maybe try to figure out a little bit better.
Amnam meruba mi mida tova kule. It's said that he magnifies the midah of goodness, the good characteristic. Hafresh v'yis ron rav, and he makes a distinction. V'yis ron rav, many somethings. I don't know what Yisron is.
Okay, so it says, Meruba Mida Toiva, I mean like this, it's much greater the beneficial aspects of reward, meaning those things which are created through sin and the punishments of which a person creates through sin are one thing, but the benefits that a person does from doing good and doing mitzvahs are much, much more.
Are greater, right?
Yeah, much greater.
Okay.
The hefresh v'yisron rav, and the disparity between the two, and the advantage is much greater.
Ki ha tzachos v'tosefes kedusha she nis vasfu mi ma'asav hatovim. Because what's this tzachos?
Ki tzachos, that the polish was so sefis kedusha, the polish or the refinement.
The refinement of the added kedusha. Shenis vasfu mi ma'asav hatovim. That's something from the good deeds. What's nis vasfu? Shenis vasfu.
That I think it's from that they are augmented. Mamasav Tovim, there's an augment from Osafa, from the augmented from his good acts.
Haim nitzchi v'kayamim le'olam. They bring forth and establish forever.
Right, they are eternal. The nitzchi, they are eternal and last forever.
Last forever. Okay, as opposed to the negative things which are temporary.
They're temporary. As bad as they may be, they're only going to be temporary.
The Nafsho mis'adain bahem ta'anud nitzchi. And his soul mis'adain. What's mis'adain?
It gains pleasure
from them.
Gan Eden, right? Gan Eden, Eden's the word Eden in them is Adin.
Eden.
I think there's isn't there a chocolate candy company called Madani? Yeah? Lost. Oh wow. Completely lost. In the Hagah, in the footnote.
Oh.
You have it there? adin behem betanu nitzku. The nafsho, right? So the refinement and the extra holiness, which is accruing from his good deeds, which are, and those benefits are eternal and last forever. V'nafsho mis'adin behem tanu nitzku, and that his soul will have pleasures from them with a eternal benefit.
So you say the pleasures, or you say it's part of the dina? Dina is refined by that.
On one hand, the sin causes the tumor to come and the punishments to result, but nevertheless that the benefits of doing mitzvahs are much greater, and the punishments and the defilement is only going to be something which is temporary, whereas the benefits and the rewards of doing the mitzvahs are going to be eternal, and those pleasures that he's going to experience are going to be eternal pleasures, which will always be with him. So from that aspect, it's much greater than the doing of a mitzvah as opposed to a sin.
Okay, so in other words, what he's doing is he's softening the blow of the previous paragraph. The previous paragraph said when we do a sin, we get surrounded by the forces of Tuma, and we're desensitized, and we suffer, and we have Gehenna in this world, and all this bad stuff.
Right.
And he's saying, but don't forget that there's an upside. The other side of the coin is stronger.
Right. Doing the mitzvahs you'll gain much more by doing the mitzvahs, fulfilling the mitzvahs.
Right. Aval hakochos hatuma b'hamazikin sheniv ra'u v'nis rabu mechatav achar kibul kol ha'onesh ha'niktav lo Haim mesim b'chalim me'alehem. But the powers of impurity, v'ha-mazikim. What is mazik? Mazik is damage, and the damage.
Actually, damage the damagers, the destructive forces.
And the destructive forces that they create. V'nis rabu and they magnify from this are magnified from this by the sin. So the powers of Tuma and the destructive forces that they create are magnified by the sin. After he receives all the punishment, ha-nitzav lo, that nitzav
that is allotted to him.
That is allotted to him.
Ketzer is a fixed amount. Is an allocation.
Allocation to him. They destroy the chalim me'alehem. And what's chalim?
They die and they become finished, and they finish me'alehem. They automatically. They don't last forever.
Okay. All of these bad things, bad as they are, they end.
Okay, maybe we'll stop here.